So let's break down what's really happening here. Is Blake Lively searching for evidence or just looking for leverage? One of the most controversial aspects of Blake Lively's case is her demand to obtain all phone records, including locations, text messages, and every piece of data related to the opposing team regardless of the recipient or subject matter for the past 2 years. Now, why would she need such extensive information? If she really had solid proof, wouldn't she have presented it already? It's been over 2 months since she first filed her complaint. But instead, she's asking to go back 2 whole years, claiming that this so-called smear campaign against her dates that far back. This doesn't seem like an attempt to prove her allegations. Instead, it looks more like a fishing expedition, a legal strategy where someone searches for anything potentially damaging to use as leverage. And that raises an important question. Is her legal team trying to pressure Baldoni's team by digging through personal records in hopes of finding something incriminating? Because if they already had real evidence, why would they need all this extra data? The controversial Hollywood Reporter cover, An Attack on Lively? In February 2025, Blake Lively found herself at the center of yet another media storm. This time, it was because of a Hollywood Reporter cover that featured a controversial illustration. The image depicted Lively using a slingshot to launch a phone at her co-star Justin Baldoni, who was holding the book It Ends With Us, the source material for their film. The problem? Many saw the cover as insensitive and offensive. Critics argued that it downplayed the seriousness of her legal dispute and instead painted her as the aggressor rather than the victim. Lively's spokesperson immediately slammed the cover, stating, "The framing of this picture is outrageously insulting, as it plays into every stereotype about women who file workplace complaints, turning them into the aggressor and implying they deserve retaliation." And if that wasn't enough, the accompanying article made things even worse. According to critics, the article attempted to frame the documented instances of misconduct and retaliation as mere cultural misunderstandings. Understandably, Lively's team was furious, claiming that this narrative trivialized her claims and undermined the experiences of those affected by workplace misconduct. Justin Baldoni's role in the case, accusations, denials. Now here's where things get even more interesting. Blake Lively has amended her lawsuit, expanding it to 141 pages, which is 48 pages longer than her original complaint. And in this updated version, she drops a major bombshell. She claims that other women on set also felt uncomfortable because of Baldoni's alleged behavior. According to the lawsuit, one of Lively's female co-stars who remains unnamed even reported the issue to Sony, the studio behind the film. But here's the catch. None of these women have come forward publicly to back up Lively's claims. 2 actresses, who are rumored to be Jenny Slate and Isabella Ferreira, allegedly wanted to remain anonymous. But when Lively's lawsuit was amended, their names were suddenly thrown into the mix despite them not wanting to be publicly involved. This has led to major backlash, with some accusing Lively of using others to strengthen her case and shift attention away from herself and Ryan Reynolds. But here's what's really shocking. A text message from Isabella Ferreira to Justin Baldoni after filming tells a completely different story. In her message, she wrote, "Thank you for making this such a comfortable experience for me. Now, let's be real. If she had felt uncomfortable or unsafe, why would she send a message like that? If someone had actually made you feel uneasy, you might still send a polite message. But would you use words like comfortable?" This contradiction has led many to question the credibility of Lively's claims. Meanwhile, many people believe that Jenny Slate holds the key to this case. If she speaks out and confirms that nothing inappropriate happened, it could completely change the narrative. On the other hand, if she says she was uncomfortable, it could add weight to Lively's accusations. But here's the thing, being a little too friendly or a bit weird is not the same as harassment. And that's an important distinction. Unless clear, undeniable evidence comes forward, many will argue that this case lacks solid proof. Did Lively go too far? Lively's spokesperson claims that the witnesses allowed her team to share their communications. But critics argue that these women were thrown under the bus to strengthen Lively's case. In response, Justin Baldoni's lawyer, Brian Freeman, made this statement. Lively's revised lawsuit is filled with unsubstantiated hearsay from unnamed persons who are clearly no longer willing to come forward. So, what do you think? Was Blake Lively genuinely advocating for others, or did she take things too far? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.